Arne Slot will feel that is a game with too much incident in, and we'll come on to those shots. But that is, that's two sides that in the end it looks like they really went at each other.
Yeah, well, when we previewed the game last week, we touched on that side of things, didn't we? That Palace are painted as this defensively well-drilled side, when in reality they just cause a lot of problems for top six teams. And Liverpool, created their fair share in the second half. But I think because of the nature of the first half and how bad it felt, I said at half-time on Twitter that, Liverpool should be 3 down. And people were replying to me saying, 3, should be 6 sort of thing. But, the expected goals there has been, I don't want to say it's been kind to Liverpool because we've still given away an absolute ton in XG terms. But I think what's drifted under the radar is in the second half we created a ton as well. We just didn't really convert much of it.
Well, we'll come on to have a little look at that because the other thing that's just of interest as well, quick, is Liverpool almost as many pressure regains as Crystal Palace over the course of the game, off substantially fewer pressures. I think it shows again in the second half in particular. Liverpool were well drilled and were getting the ball back where they needed to and when they needed to. And it's another team that's playing Liverpool with a really low pass completion rate. 65% for Palace is really, really low. And Liverpool are doing a good job of that at the minute, but you've got to wonder how much teams are leading into that, for me, Josh.
Yeah.
I think teams are happy to lose the ball against Liverpool at the moment. I think they're happy to take risks with that possession, and you can see it in the race chart. It's Crystal Palace have basically got above 2 in a half against Liverpool. And Liverpool go on and get 2 XG in the second half. But Palace go in half-time, the cumulative XG has them over 2. That does not happen to Liverpool very often, and it's just not good enough.
No, I mean, it was a defensive shambles, really. I mean, there's lots of individual performances well off it, but from a Palace perspective, that's a great race map. The posing like a semi-regular threat. Every time Liverpool tries to get the game in a certain flow, Palace posts some form of decent shot. There's a fair share of them throughout the game. There's no massive spell where they just don't do anything, and every time they do, they just create a little chance here and there. So
there's a little bit, Liverpool do a good, if you come out second half, you get to actually see 45 to 65, Palace don't actually manage to have a shot. And that's where Liverpool are just, and then they have one attempt, and they don't get another attempt then until 80. Liverpool have done a decent job in that period, I think, of stemming the bleeding, playing a little bit better, pushing the ball into the Palace half. And Liverpool, at the point at which Chiesa scores, Liverpool are actually have levelled the race chart, if you see what I mean. And that, again, if you think about how things felt, it didn't feel like at that point, you wouldn't have felt at that point 1-1 was fair because you really did think, but they could be 3-0 down at half-time. You didn't feel like 1-1 was fair, but as the cumulative race chart goes, at the point it goes 1-1, both teams have got the same XG.
Yeah, but that second half, I mean, you look at it there from 45 onwards, that's an impressive comeback, really, when you look at it. I mean, it doesn't feel like that because we lost the game in the end and things, but for Liverpool to create that and to have, such a steep race map like that in the second half at Selhurst Park when we just got battered in the first half, it's just a shame we couldn't do it in the first.
Why do you think they couldn't do it in the first?
The system. I thought the system was a mess.
So you just think what the manager picked, the way he set them up was a huge issue?
It was all over the place, mate. Absolutely all over the place. It was like a 4-2-2-2. I thought he was very much accommodating the idea of Vert on the left, but still capable of being Vert. In other words, you're playing on the left where you can go anywhere. And we just basically conceded the entire left, which is where their best player plays, by the way. And
on the right?
Yeah, on the right, sorry, yeah. Nuno's on the right. But we had Kerkers for that side, and he was just kind of doing it on his own. Everyone else was on the other side. Palace found us easy to contain, easy to regain the ball, and then they just broke on us. And yeah, absolute mess. And then second half is when he changes the system, and you can see the impact on the race map there. So I think that was a big part, like tactics.
Yeah. Are you disappointed? Because I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the players, I'm disappointed in the manager, because the big thing for me, I think Palace do spring a teeny mini surprise in that I'm surprised to see all the Kamada, Pino and Sarr start. But they still play exactly as Crystal Palace play. They skew themselves a little bit over to their left or right, more than I might have expected as well. But again, it doesn't have to be the biggest surprise in the world. They used to have Eze, who used to play that side as well. For me, the manager often talks about, the opposition did something we didn't expect when we got in at half-time. We tweaked a few things, we found a bit more space and we were able to exploit it. There's no excuses on that one for me like this. Crystal Palace turned up, and guess what? They were Crystal Palace.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth saying the manager has not got a great record now against Glasner. He's faced him 4 times, he's beaten once. And Slot has better players, ultimately, so it's not good, and I wrote in my preview piece on my Substack that it's going to be interesting to watch this from a tactical sense, because it's a rare case of going into a game and knowing exactly what you're going to come up against in a tactical sense. But Liverpool come with this idea, but it just didn't work. And the second half did, which is when Liverpool reverted to type in a weird sort of way. So whatever Slot was planning for the first half, you know, the execution at least was really, really bad.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can say. It's an unbelievable number of shots. We often don't do shot map that much. This is the Crystal Palace shot map against Liverpool. I can't believe how much there is in the penalty area.
Around the pen spot as well, though,
yeah.
like it's unhealthy.
You know, for Palace to have 16 attempts, but only 4 of them be from outside the box, and one of them's on the D. 2 of them are on the D, actually, by the way. You know, it is deeply, deeply unhealthy from a Liverpool point of view, that shot map.